Hi class, we've been factoring trinomials for a while now. So today we're going to take the next step and take a look at, well, what happens if our a value is not 1? So we're no longer going to not have that coefficient in front of our x squared. And I'm going to show you a really awesome method called KungFooFactoring in order to do this using the skills that we already have. So like I said, you have the skill, pay attention to the steps, the process that's happening. It's the same every time. So once you get that down, you should be very good at this. So let's take a look at an example. So we're going to let example 1 be 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. Okay, so if you take a look at this problem, we have a coefficient in front of our x squared. Well, in the past, we would try and factor out that GCF of 2 and get rid of that coefficient so that we could factor using our product sum rule and get our two sets of parentheses. But here we can't do that because 2 has nothing in common with 13 or with 15, so there is no GCF in a problem like this. So this is where the KungFooFactoring comes into play. So our first step is we multiply a times c. So I'm going to take this 2, my a value, and I'm going to multiply that by my c value of 15. So 2 times 15 is 30. What I'm basically doing is I'm moving that 2 into my 15. So my new problem says x squared plus 13x plus 30. Okay, so this looks like something that we've done in the past, right? Now we don't have a coefficient in front of that x squared. So we can go ahead, step 2, and we can factor this now because we already know how to do this. So I'm going to draw my two sets of parentheses. Both of my signs are plus. So both of my signs are plus in my parentheses. What multiplies to be 30 and adds to be 13? That would be 10 and 3. X times x is x squared. And I factored it. But now I have to undo that multiplication. I multiplied by 2 up here, so I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to divide by a now. So I'm going to take my 3, and I'm going to divide it by 2. And I'm going to take my 10, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So this is why I call it KungFooFactoring, because this is something that plays out really, really neat in mathematics. Here, once I have my division happening, if I can divide and it works out evenly, I go ahead and I do my division. So here I take x plus 10 divided by 2. Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. But if it doesn't work out nicely, here I can't take 3 divided by 2 and have it work out without having a decimal. So this is where it gets really, really neat. So what I do is I take that 2 and I put it in front of my x. So now I have a 2x. And I just let the 3 there. So I have 2x plus 3 times x plus 5. And I'm done. That's my answer. Now remember, we should still never get a factoring problem wrong because we can check our work. If we use our FOIL method, we should end up getting back to our 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. So let's go ahead and check. So here I take 2x times x. That gives me 2x squared. Right there. 2x times 5 is 10x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 5 is 15. These two terms give me my 13x in the middle there. And I know I got the problem right. Alright, one more example. If we would have something like 8x squared plus 2x minus 3. So this will be example 2. So we're going to do the same steps. I'm going to take my 8 and I'm going to multiply that by 3. So I get x squared plus 2x minus 24. We factor. Well, now I have a minus and a plus, so because that c value is negative, my signs are opposite. What multiplies to be 24 and adds to be 2, that's going to be a positive 6 and a minus 4. And then I'm going to divide by my a value, which is 8. Now this problem, we got to be careful. It has one more step. As you can see right here, we have 6 over 8 and 4 over 8. Well, in math, we want everything to always be in simplest form. So we need to simplify these fractions first. So I'm going to take 6 over 8, I'm going to divide them both by 2. So that gives me x plus 3 over 4. 4 over 8, well, that is 1/2. And now I can move these denominators in front of my x's. So this one, because it doesn't divide nicely, becomes 4x plus 3. And the next one still doesn't divide nicely, and it is 2x minus 1. So we get 8x squared, 4x and 6x, or negative 4x and 6x is 2x, 3 and minus 1 is minus 3. We know we got our answer right, and we are done. So like I said, you already have the skills to do this. Learn the steps, multiply, factor, divide. Make sure you reduce those fractions, and you should be fine. All right, thanks for listening, class. I'll see you guys tomorrow.